Good morning. Hello to those who are tuning in later. Um, Excuse me for my disheveled look and same shirt as yesterday. But yeah, this morning we are having a bit of coffee, a bit of nicotine, a few questions, maybe talk a bit about communism or other things. But what we're going to do is we're going to wait for people to come in, and if they have any questions, well, yeah, if they have any questions, then I'll answer them. And if they don't, then I won't. For now, we're going to have a little bit of coffee and wait for some people to trickle in. Because I don't announce these or plan these or anything. So if anyone just happens to notice it, I hope that they come in. So yeah, I guess the biggest news on the table right now is that there's been a ceasefire between Hamas, the Islamic Jihad, and the Palestinian Liberation Organization, and Israel. This certainly doesn't solve the problem, and I still think that at any moment it could go south again. But I am happy that the violence has stopped. That's for sure. The ceasefire was, the immediate demands of everyone to get Israel to stop dropping bombs, but I feel like that the situation in Sheikh Jarrah isn't going to go well. That's for sure. One moment. Hello, comrade from Italy, Italian comrade. Oh, and hey, Tonio. Nice to see you. Italian commie's always here. Antonio's always here too. We have a Polish communist. We have an Italian communist. We have an American communist. The international ideal unites the world. Thanks to y'all for tuning in. I appreciate that. I was just mentioning how there was a ceasefire in Palestine. How am I? I'm great. How are you, Tonio? I just coming on, waiting for people to trickle in, seeing if they actually do. Wanting to, chat with the members. If anyone wants to join me on StreamYard, they're welcome to. Just let me know. So if Tonio wants to join me, if you want to join me, I see. Please let me know, and you can come on and chat. We can talk about some stuff. It's an open invite as long as I know the person. If I don't know you, then add me on Discord or find me on Discord, and we can get to know each other. And then maybe I can have you on one of these live streams. I really want to involve the community in the live streams and this channel. It's been, just me for so long. I think it's time that we. No, StreamYard is it's a browser. streaming thing. It uses a browser to replace things like OBS, and it makes streaming really easy. And it's really easy. You just follow the link and you can join. You don't even need to make an account or anything. But yeah, let me see. All right. So I'm going to take the broadcast link to StreamYard, and I'm going to post it in the comments. So anyone who is here and wants to join can follow that link. Oops. I just have to figure out how to. Okay. Oh God. Hold on. Oh. Okay, sorry about that. I was just trying to copy to clipboard, post comment. All right, so anyone who wants to join the live stream can come in through that link. I'll have to approve you, obviously, but if you want to join, just let me know. Okay? Come on in. Oh my God, I had it all set up and shit. Now I have to get it reset up. I'm sorry. That works for me. No, it doesn't require a camera. It just needs audio. So you can come in, and oh, guest, here we are. Italian Communist. Add to stream.
Ok, mi sa che non mi sente però.
Hey, what's up?
Hi.
What's up, comrade? Do you just want to be called Italian Communist on here?
Okay.
I can also call you by your first name if you find that easier.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, nice. Okay, I didn't know which name to choose, I stick with my YouTube name.
Okay, that sounds good with me. Italian, and we're gonna bring Tonio from Poland on. Hello, comrade.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, good.
So how's everyone?
Sorry.
It's okay.
I'm exhausted because of the stuff I had to do for school, like the artistic project and the essay I wrote for the competition.
Oh yeah, that writing competition. Oh geez. I couldn't, I don't miss school, that's for sure. So, Italian Communist, what's been going on with the youth league over there? I saw you talking today.
Actually, today there was a demonstration about the Global Health Summit. I don't know if you heard about it.
No, I didn't hear about it.
And yeah, so I didn't go with them because today I was feeling a little bit down, and I didn't want to. Yeah, I probably didn't do the right thing, but you know.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. And what's going on? Is there any response, Tonio? I want to ask because I've seen, protests in solidarity with Palestine from Italy. I was just wondering if there's anything going on.
I've heard, I don't know much about this protest. I've just seen posts that police arrested some people who were protesting and generally didn't treat them well.
It sounds about par for the course for modern Poland. We need to bring back the PRL. Did you say something
Exactly.
bad about the PRL? You want to get fucked up? You talk shit about the PRL, you're gonna get hit.
What?
Polish People's Republic. So is there anything either of y'all wanted to talk about?
I don't know.
Well, yesterday in the stream you brought up that one Italian communist who.
Oh yeah. Oh
Can you
yeah.
tell us a little bit about that, his name, and just give us the lowdown on that?
Yeah. I found out his story like some the last year, maybe I don't know, some months ago. His name is Ilio Barontini. It's not really known here in Italy. It's a shame because he was a great internationalist. As I told you, he fought basically everywhere, from Ethiopia to China to Spain to Italy, France, everywhere, almost everywhere. And yeah, I think. Wait a minute. He was called. He was. Wait a minute. He was defined as. Yeah. Arrigo Boldrini, there is a partisan, another communist partisan I really need to talk about because he's another great comrade. Well, Arrigo Boldrini called him the night of the people's freedom.
The Night of the People's Freedom. That is such a bad name. Oh, I should have turned off notifications before I started streaming. Comrade Tonio,
Yeah.
why is it that Polish socialists from the turn of the century in Poland were so horny?
What?
Why are Polish poets that were socialists at the turn of the century so horny?
I think at that time there was like an artistic manifesto that said that art can be whatever you want, that art can be like it doesn't care about social norms. And there was a lot of sexual poetry because of that.
Wow, that's really interesting because you look at a lot of socialist poetry from around the same time. None of it's nearly as horny as Polish poetry for some weird reason. And also, but the one parallel between early Polish socialists and other early socialists, pre-Marxian socialists, is that a lot of them were Christians, and I think that's pretty interesting that a lot of the people that founded the idea of socialism and a society geared for social ends and to solve the social question, which what class conflict was called before Marx. They called it the social question, where the term socialism comes from. And these early socialists, utopian socialists, who actually defined, so not really defined it, but gave meaning to it initially. These people were were very religious. Some of them were very horny, but all of them were weirdos. I would have to say they were weirdos for their time. I mean,
Yeah.
it
Um,
it was pre, it was before socialism became, a deeply working class ideology, and before it was a much more utopian thing. Which
uh, in 19th century Poland, like before Marx, there were a lot of Christians that associated socialism with being truly religious. Like I have this quote: social feeling can become a passion, deed, and reality only when it explodes in the soul of a truly religious and patriotic people. Religious and patriotic feelings are the basis of socialism. It's a quote by Adam Mickiewicz, who was a
I
poet, and
I
he wrote
agree. I
some socialist articles in France.
I agree with them. I see a lot of communists, and this was a lot more prevalent, especially during the new left of the '60s and the early revolutionary fervor of 1917. But this idea of, pure historical progress and rejecting anything traditional and being purely international is this sort of ultra left deviation. But I don't find that very dialectical. Yes, we're talking about historical progress, and as communists, that's what we need to focus on. But I think that if we don't synthesize historical progress with things like tradition, and we don't synthesize patriotism with internationalism, then I think that we are we're going to be, stuck in the same problems that was made by, the era of the Cultural Revolution, or the early state atheism of the USSR, or the new left of the '60s that rejected any sort of family and social cohesion. And I was talking, forget who I was talking, or who was no, I think it was Ewoks Unhinged, another YouTuber on here from Canada, was talking about he was talking about how, a lot of these leftists, and especially anarchists, well-meaning anarchists too, have this idea about destroying the family unit, like, yeah, we all hate the nuclear family, and how it's based on, the subjugation of women and the commodification of love and things like that. But I think that what's really important is that we're trying to save the family, because what do we have when we're so isolated and alienated under capitalism? We have our friends and we have our family, and especially family, because it's on a deeper level, gives us connection. What we have lost under capitalism is our extended family. We only live in like this nuclear unit. In the East, they live with more of their extended family, but we live like with mom, dad, and siblings. That's it. But in other places, they have a much wider support system: aunts and uncles, family members that all live in the same house, or at least like all next to each other, and they all help raise each other's kids and stuff. And that's sort of what you read about in The Origin of the Family State and Private Property, when Ingalls is talking about primitive communism, and how the family back then was, what he would call Jin, which was like a proto tribe you would be in, would would it would be your family. All the children were collectively raised by all the adults. There were no gender roles. No patriarchy or matriarchy. It's very interesting. So, yeah, I think that, thinking about the family, I think that we have to sort of save it, not destroy it. I don't know what y'all think about that. I know La Familia in Italy is pretty important.
Yes, about that, we still have, like, we have like, we call them unioni civili, civil unions for, gay marriages are not like real marriages, like more
Yeah, it's what we
uh,
have in states before marriage. Civil unions. It's like a civil partnership for like legal.
Yeah, yeah, of course. It's not a real marriage. It's a union, you know.
Mm. Hello, Comontista. Welcome. But yeah, but in y'all's countries, is it more common to live with like your grandparents, your parents, and your aunts and uncles in one, home or community, or is everyone sort of separated in the nuclear family? Ah, we have another Italian here. Greetings,
Oh,
Comontista. Welcome, Comontista. We have Italian communists here too.
oh yeah. Mi sa che non. I think he can't hear me, or he can.
Oh, they can hear you. They definitely
Okay.
can. But yeah. So in Italy, do you live with your wider extended family? Is that typical, or do do you sort of
Um,
do the nuclear family like what's common in Hollywood movies in the West?
it really depends a lot on where you live. If you live in the countryside or in the city. If you live in the city, you basically live with your parents, your siblings, and things like that. Or maybe there can be like a grandparent, like yeah. So, but if you live in the countryside. You sometimes you live in your house and like 10 meters away there's your grandpa's house, like it's like that, like if you live in a small center, there's a good chance you all live together.
Okay. I think that's interesting because it sort of harkens to these countryside people were never proletarianized in the classical sense. Now they're farm workers or tenant farmers, so no longer peasants, but they did not, develop the same capitalist alienation that others did. So they sort of kept remnants of the strength of a wider
Well,
family. I think,
yeah, they
and
live in the
of course, individually, some people will have issues with their family members and can't live with them or stuff like that. But basically, that's what I'm seeing here, which is interesting. Also, hehe, anch'io sono italiano. I don't know what that means.
he's saying that he's Italian too.
Haha. Well, we love our Italian communists. We really do. Comrade Tonio, you there?
Yeah.
So, what about Poland? Is it because I've seen some things because I know in Slavic countries it's a lot different than Western Europe, especially since the PRL existed for so long, and you didn't have that same sort of social breakdown that Western countries did. So, are the families there any different? Like, do you live with extended families, or is it you know nuclear?
Well, most people live with their parents and siblings, maybe grandparents as well, but we have a lot of occasions when like the extended family comes for a few days even, and we party a lot, and it's really important to stay in touch with your extended family.
Okay, that's cool. Um, Gomontista says in the South they are more into the family stuff. I am from the North, Piedmont, but my grandparents are from Calabria. So, for those who don't know, Piedmont is uh, is the province where Torino is on the near France and Switzerland, and Calabria is way in the south. They have a lot of good food down there, though. I call me crazy, but I think Southern Italian food is better than Northern Italian food. Maybe I'm wrong.
Of course, no, you're right, absolutely.
Well, also in America, our Italian American food, which is not the same as real Italian food, by the way, but it is based off of families from uh, Napoli or Calabria or Sicily. So that's sort of what Italian Americans have more of a taste for that style of food than in the north.
Yeah, yeah.
What does this mean? Terroni versus Bolentoni.
Terroni is it's not a slur, but it's the way that originally it was the word which the Northerners used to insult the Southerners. Nowadays, it's not more an insult. I mean, it can use as an insult, but sometimes Southern people call themselves Terroni. While Polentone is the opposite, is what the people from the south call the people from the north. They
Okay,
all have,
you can still see that divide today. Like
yeah,
look
yeah,
at if you look at demographics maps, if you look at food, language, culture, but also politics. I mean, look
yeah.
at any election map of Italy over the course of the 20th century, and you will see a clear divide between the
Dude,
South and the North.
yeah, I mean, I wanted to say, like, yeah, you know about the 1946 referendum, the monarchy republic, you know that stuff.
Yeah.
When we had to choose between monarchy and yeah, monarchy or republic. You know, the North voted for a republic for a number of reasons, be it that the resistance war was fought mainly in the North, and socialist movement, yada yada yada. And then in the South, they voted mostly for the monarchy.
Mm.
Because yeah, I don't know exactly why. It's a little bit complicated because the South was uh, I can't
They were
explain.
one of the last parts to integrate into Italy, because the kingdom comes from uh, one of Commontista's ancestral homelands, Piedmont and Savoy.
Yeah, yeah. It
So,
was
yeah.
in 1861
Mm.
with Garibaldi on all the stuff.
Oh, don't I wish the Garibaldi faction won? Oh my goodness. How the history of Italy would have changed if Garibaldi's ideas would have been implemented.
Yeah, I mean he was a socialist, but he fought for the king. That's a
He was the
very
first and foremost a patriot of Italy,
yeah,
someone who wanted to unite Italy. And I understand that at the time, this was a time of, a deepening sense of national pride, and
yeah, of course.
a lot of early socialists were nationalists or patriots or whatever you want to call them. Comontista says, in the north they are more reactionary with Lega and Salvini. In the south they are more with Five Star Movement. Tuscany and Emilia are the traditional leftist zones of Italy. Emilia. Okay. So yeah, the Five Star Movement, they're like the populists, anti-corruption type folks, and Salvini is Italian Trump,
Yeah,
and
the anti-immigrant guy.
Lega used to be a national northern regionalist party, but then they turned into a national, like, broad right wing populist group. Five Star Movement is, enlightened centrism, populism, and I don't know. I don't know much about um, why the South voted for Five Star Movement, or I can. I think could you sort of explain why the map is sort of
Uh,
divided
you
up like
know, the South is has a story of being, treated like shit and cheated by politicians. from the time of from unity to now, there's always the same story with corruption and yeah. So basically, the people from the south wanted a solution from the for this, but they didn't consider that the dangers of populism, of right wing populism, because nowadays the Five-Star Movement is basically the right wing populist movement. They pretend to be left wing, but they are actually right wing.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen what a lot of what their founders have said, like, oh, who's their Beppe something,
Yeah,
but
that guy is really embarrassing.
yeah, I like ever since I heard of the Five-Star Movement and that guy, it's like I immediately knew. I was like, this is a grift. This is just bullshit. And trust me, Five-Star Movement's gonna fucking drop off. I mean,
Yeah,
they have
yeah,
no substance to their platform. They have no, it's just we have to fight corruption, and they've been in the middle of this terrible governmental crisis. Like they're obviously not equipped to run the country.
Connor. The actual um nowadays the mayor of Rome is actually from Five-Star Movement, and it's been on in that place for 4 years, no, 4 years, no, probably more. Yeah, a lot of time, and she's she has made a lot of troubles. She it's not real. Yeah, she was really disappointing. Yeah,
Yeah, Comontista just said the Five-Star Movement disappointed a lot of Italians. Yeah, it looks like it because they were extremely popular when they burst on the scene. It was like out of nowhere. And they burst on the scene and they started winning freaking elections and stuff, which is wild in the traditional uh, divide in Italy between, before it was between the PCI and the Christian Democrats, and then it was between, uh, people like Berlusconi and Matteo Renzi, you know, but they just came in and busted everything up, which was crazy.
what are you drinking?
Coffee.
Oh, right,
That's why I
American
put,
coffee.
yeah, Americano.
Oh, damn.
I prefer espresso, but I just don't have an espresso machine.
Yeah,
They promised a lot of things and they betrayed the Italian people in joining the establishment. Yeah,
yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
their entire identity was around anti-corruption, anti-corruption populism. And when they joined with the corrupt parties, it's like, huh? And that's what happens when you apply populism without having a strong ideological base behind it. Um, Left-wing populism can be good if its basis is in, scientific socialism and all that, but it's populism is good at getting you elected. Let's just say that.
Yeah, but then it's not. Yeah, it's not a long range solution.
No, no, no. It's just a way to build a popular movement. But if there's no substance behind this, populism that you're espousing, then eventually you're doomed to fail. And in my opinion, five-star movement's going to be out of the out of the legislature in after a few elections in Italy, and the classic dynamic will be set up again, unless socialism arises, which could be
Yeah,
good.
it would be good, but back in the day, the old comrades of the PCI used to say the revolution We will do it uh, not today, maybe tomorrow, but surely the day after tomorrow. They always say it like that.
Oh, geez. So, what are your issues with the PC?
Oh, Rizzo is how do you call that? Socialist reactionary. It probably it always was, but he's now it's now obvious that he is.
So, what are some of the things that he does?
He is really acquainted with right wing parties,
Really?
and yeah, FDI or even the actual fascist. Think of him like one of them.
Weird.
Yeah, it's weird and it's not okay. Like not at all.
No, it's not. What the hell? Uh,
Yeah,
what has he spoken about this?
no, not really. I think he's somewhat okay with the situation, but I can't understand how. I mean, I always thought he was first of all an anti-fascist, but now I start to think again.
Well, yeah. I mean, FDI isn't that Mussolini's granddaughter's party?
Wait a minute, I can't remember.
But
Uh,
it's one of those parties that openly promotes Mussolini.
uh, no, FDI is the one with Giorgia Meloni. I don't know if you remember. Maybe you heard about her. Um, uh,
But Comunista says Rizzo is definitely an anti-fascist. So I
yeah,
mean,
no, the Mussolini, Alessandro Mussolini is not in FDI, but he's in Berlusconi's party, Forza Italia.
that's hilarious.
Yeah,
Berlus- Berlusconi's such a cuck.
yeah,
I hate him. I hate him.
porca troia.
um, you don't even want to hear from Comrade Tonio about the reactionary bullshit that goes on in Poland. Oh my god. The piss party, as we call it.
What?
Well, the piss party.
And also, Polish fascists invite like fascists from Italy every year.
Yeah, I know this thing is really bad. Like Italian fascists and Polish fascists are really acquainted, and it's not a mystery. Even we know that.
Yeah, Confederation and Italian fascists just hanging out. Rizzo is loved by
Not only Confederation, like the march where Italian fascists are invited is hugely promoted by the government, and the government praises right-wing people who are aggressive on this march and defend them.
Yeah, Poland's in a super reactionary
God
situation.
damn.
Rizzo is loved by right-wing people because of anti-NATO, anti-EU stuff. I could see that. I could see that definitely overlapping with some of the, those people who are big into, sovereignty and stuff. But speaking of Poland more, the piss party, which is, what is it, the Law and Justice Party?
Yeah.
Yeah,
In
but
short, in Polish, it's peace, actually.
its abbreviation is PIS.
Oh,
So whenever me and Comrade Tonio talk about it, we call it the piss party. The piss party who's running Poland. Not even secret how many fascists, are in the government. Not everyone in the piss party is a fascist, but every
And
fascist.
well, um, a lot of people from the Peace Party uh, tell children that if you cooperate with Nazis, if you are against communists and you cooperate with Nazis, you are a hero. If you kill children and kill people because they are other nationality, but you say you are anti-communist, then you are a great hero and you can kill as many children as you want. And that's what the kids at school are taught here.
I
Oh,
can hear.
really?
Was that Rambo in the background? Who was that?
Yeah, my dogs are so angry hearing what I'm saying.
They're just really upset with the political situation in Poland right now. They're gonna go bite the ankles of local.
Yeah,
Um,
exactly.
um, but Comontista says, in my opinion, he's the best ML politician. Well, he's really the only big one y'all got over there in Italy. Really, I mean, there's no ML party outside of the PC that's worth a damn.
We
Um,
have. It's not a party, but we have. I told you that yesterday. Yeah, we have the Communist Front. There is the coalition between the Youth Front and the Sikobos.
yeah, which is awesome. Um,
Yeah,
that's a direct connection between the workers and the youth, which is a brilliant thing and alliance. And I think that these two groups could actually, force the PC to step more in line with the will of the workers. So, I mean, this youth league is the future of the country. The trade unions are the backbone of production. So
yeah.
it's who's in a better position. I think it's interesting. Um, and I think that youth organizations should always hold autonomy from their parent parties and should have the right to disaffiliate if they feel uh, like the line is wrong. But I think that the goal of the youth should be eventually always to reconnect, with the mother party. If the party actually goes through significant change, and well, the youth is eventually going to become too old for the youth league, so that's the future of the party always. The youth are always the future. And so organizing the youth around the line of the future and around the line of the workers is a good thing, I think.
Yeah, we have a lot of very young members now, like many more than before. We have
That's
like people from the first years of like high school or yeah, things like that.
that's good,
Like
getting
I joined when I was 17 or 18, so these people are younger than I was when I joined.
which is awesome.
Yeah,
I've noticed in this country, and it's obviously happening in your country, and I think Comrade Tonio can attest to what's happening in Poland, but the youth are getting into communism a lot more than the generation of our parents and the generation before us. I'm a millennial. Y'all are probably Zoomers, but my generation is much, much less interested in communism at that age than y'all's generation, and even more so than the one before that. There's a renaissance, a communist rebirth, one could say.
yeah,
There's the youth are so separated from that Cold War era, and so much is coming out that is dispelling a lot of the Cold War myths about socialism, and they're not getting, the vitriolic shit in their ear as much as we are. We're still getting it, don't get me wrong. But I think that just kids these days, and with their access to the internet and having every document ever thought of at the tip of their fingers, a Google search away, it's like, um, it's amazing. And here is Maddie, Comrade Maddie, wonderful comrade.
Hello.
Solidarity, red salute. Yeah, Maddie's cool. Maddie's a cool, good friend, good
Um,
communist.
I wanted to add that at least in Poland, youth is getting a lot more leftist, but at the same time, there is a lot more right-wing youth. Like people are going to one extreme or another.
That's always a symbol of class antagonisms coming to a head. It's always a sign of history progressing whenever people start going to extremes. It's interesting. I think a lot could be said the same here. Um, what are you playing over there, Italian Communist?
What?
I hear some kind of whistle.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Uh,
Yeah, okay,
okay,
I can hear you.
okay. It was just confusing me. But um, so whenever you see a young person getting into communism, I think it's important for us not to be so hard on them. Especially, they're going to come in with certain romantic ideas and certain misconceptions, and a lot of them tend to go towards tend to trend towards ultra leftism because it's so appealing, and the aesthetics are cool. And I think when we deal with these types of people, that we just have to be patient with them and teach them,
Be
and
like an older sibling to them.
yeah, be
Yeah,
like
yeah.
another a guidance, and don't and try to steer them in the right direction. You won't win over everyone, but when these young people are getting into communism, you should be excited and happy, because this is a chance for you to really use everything that you've learned over the years, all of the mistakes that you've made, all the things that you've learned, and be like, I've been where you are. Let me tell you a little bit of my experiences. And kids will listen to you a lot more if you sort of treat them with a level of respect. Like a lot of the time, older people will dismiss ideas from younger people, but give them your ear. Let them talk to you. Let them tell you why they chose this position. Let them get their ideas out, and you can come at it back at them in a Socratic dialogue. And instead of having an argument or a debate, you can come to a truth in the end. And I think that that's sort of what I've been trying to do. And even here on YouTube, there are some younger communists that I really don't agree with, but I really am friendly with them because I know that I was there before too. I was in that exact position. So it's just interesting to see. And you're never going to win everyone over, but all you can do is present your ideas with good faith and a level head, and appeal to the person you're talking to sensibilities. And most of the time, if you don't come to an agreement, you can at least come to um, a civil disagreement, which is uh, much better than
Yeah,
just
a good faith argument.
yeah, because you see a lot of stuff, especially on Facebook or Twitter. You get comment threads. These things aren't useful. These things aren't useful. You're not convincing anyone in those comment threads. Um, the only way you can really convince people is to get your ideas out and let them stand on their own merit. You don't have to. Oh, I tend to dog on different ideologies and stuff, but in the end, like, our position of Marxism Leninism is vindicated. It's vindicated by history. It's vindicated by success. It's vindicated by the acceptance of billions. And I think that sometimes, as Marxist Leninists, we need to let our historical success and our vindication through social practice and actual existing experiences, um, that can speak for itself a lot of the time. I don't think we have to give merit to a lot of these ultra leftist ideas that only exist as abstractions in the heads of people. I think that a lot of the time we can just let success and history speak for itself. History. What is it that Fidel Castro said about history vindicating him? Anyone heard that
Yeah,
quote?
in the process, like the yeah, in the process against him um, for the assault of the Moncada. Wait, yeah, the start of the revolution, the Moncada. How do you call?
Bar-
Um, yeah,
Barracks.
yeah, barracks.
Yeah, yeah, and history did vindicate
Of
Fidel Castro.
course, of course.
Nothing is more obvious. I mean, if you want to, I mean, outside of the most ultra left people, I mean, you'll find almost any. Cuba's one of the greatest successes ever. 90 miles
Yeah,
away from the U.S. empire, 90 miles away from the U.S. empire, isolated, alone, and thriving. And, it's regardless if you believe they are socialist or revisionist or whatever you may say, um, they're successful, and that cannot be denied. And really, if you're a communist and you're picking bones about whether or not something's revisionist or not, you should really not be asking yourself if it matches up with your ideological framework in your head. You should be asking yourself, is this tangibly improving the lives of the exploited masses? If the answer is yes, then it's a good thing. If you're not fighting to improve the lives of the masses, then well, what is this? Long live the 2607 movement. What's this?
I don't know.
It's I think it's
Oh,
the
uh,
movement in Cuba
Julio
from
Oh
the
26.
yeah,
revolution.
Yeah, that's right. July 26 movement. I'm sorry. I was so confused there for a second. Yeah. Uh, Comontista, long live the July 26 movement. Long live the Cuban Communist Party. Long live the Cuban Revolution. Solidarity. Whew. Fidel Castro movement. Yeah. That's right. Uh, the July 26th movement was a collection of all sorts of revolutionaries in Cuba, not just communists. I mean, at the time, Fidel had not even adopted Marxism Leninism yet. He was a revolutionary socialist, to be sure. But, at that moment in time, their main goal was getting rid of the imperialist puppet fascist government and freeing the people, which they did. And they built socialism subsequently and thrived. They've had sanctions against them by the world's biggest empire and still succeed. I mean, it's amazing. They've fully vaccinated their population. They've sent doctors across the world to help other people, this tiny, tiny island nation. What medical system, what healthcare service is better in the world than the Cuban healthcare system? None. There's nothing even close. So, I mean, they have such great medical training. They have so many great doctors that they have so many, they can send them to other countries to help people. I mean, it's amazing. Italy. I mean, I know y'all got tons of help from the Cuban doctors during this pandemic.
yeah, like in the Brescia and Sicily and I don't remember which other places. Like, but yeah,
And they even offered to send them to the United States,
yeah, I
Yeah.
remember that.
And it's not just Cuba, but so many countries offered us help. So many smaller, poor, quote unquote, countries offered us help. Rejected, 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 and we needed it, and we still need it. And that's just the hubris of American imperialism, right there. It's disgusting.
Yeah,
They literally, they literally murdered over 500,000 of us for no fucking reason. It's disgusting. For money. That's what it was. For profit. Ugh. Oh, what's up, Ramiro?
Oh,
Comrade Ramiro is amazing. Um, Comrade Ramiro um, made a documentary called Nicaragua Against Empire, and it's amazing. Um, Grassroots look into the Sandinistan Revolution. Y'all should watch it if you haven't already. It's freaking amazing. Nicaragua Against Empire. Um, I think that being able to witness socialist construction at the grassroots level, from the campesinos to the workers to the revolutionaries, even the children, so good. And I don't think there's any look into the modern 21st century Sandinista experience outside of this documentary. Y'all should definitely watch it. Once again, it's called Nicaragua Against Empire. Here we have Cuban doctors helped us during the pandemic, and a few months
yeah.
ago, the government of oh my god, of an embargo. That's sick, sickening. Um, oh, that's disgusting. How they could do that to a country that helped save lives of their people just months before. What is this? What is this sick imperialist bullshit? It's disgusting. It's disgusting. In India, you have people washing up in the Ganges. There's so many dead bodies. And the Indian government denied a bunch of free Sinovac from China. Based,
Oh, really?
yeah, that China was going to send it. It was ready to go, and then the U.S. said, "Oh, we'll give you these untested vaccinations from some brand I don't even know. Just don't take them from China." And so they denied that, and then the U.S. never fucking sent anything. So now millions of Indians are still getting sick. The BJP government is much like Israel, an apartheid government. Muslims there are getting killed by communal violence and such, much like what's happening in Israel. The only difference is it's not a settler dynamic, it's not a colonialist dynamic, it's a communal violence dynamic. And the BJP RSS government is a Hindvatu fascist, which is like a Hindu nationalism fascism, and it's really bigoted towards any sort of faith uh, outside of the Hindu family, which is not a singular faith, but this cultural identity and spiritualism. And that's why you see, look, the BJP RSS people and Modi from India, they're supporting Israel in the Palestine complex, in the Palestine conflict. It's really disgusting. I really, I, it just makes me angry. um, so what has been the reaction um, in Italy from the bourgeois parties to Israel?
I told you they made a demonstration last week. It was a pro-Israel demonstration. They say they were demonstrating for the right of Israel to exist. Like it's really disgusting because as far as I know, Israelis are not endangered. Palestinians are in danger.
Yeah, absolutely. And speaking of the BJP and India and everything, Maddie here says, and murdering Hijra. And whoever doesn't know what Hijra are, they are sort of an ancient third gender in Hindu culture.
Oh,
Um,
really?
yeah,
Interesting.
yeah. They're not men or women. It's this. It was this third constructed gender and Indian society that really, took a big hit whenever the colonialists came and started, projecting uh, gender binary values onto these people and stuff. But they still exist to this day. But of course, the Hindu nationalists don't actually care about Hindus. They just care about their power and social conservatism and things like that. So they murder the Hijra. And so it's really fucked up what they're doing in India right now. But there's one shining beacon in India, which is Kerala. Kerala is a state in southern India that is
Yeah,
run,
they're communist.
yeah, by the Left Democratic Front, led by the Communist Party of India Marxists. I'm actually having an interview with one of their branch secretaries there in Kerala on the channel coming up soon. So look up for that. Look out for that. Yeah, the Kerala model is an example that if followed across India in every state, then I mean they could peacefully transition to socialism, which is fascinating. Um, so what um what do y'all expect to come from this ceasefire between Gaza and Israel and between Palestine and Israel? I personally think it will stop things for a moment, but as soon as the international media loses interest in the story, they're going to go back to evicting people from Sheikh Jarrah. They're going to go back to doing their settlements, and nothing's going to change. What do y'all think?
I agree with you.
Yeah. At this point, there's really only one solution. Uh, in for the Israeli Palestinian conflict, and it's the one state solution, singular democratic secular Palestine. Free Palestine. That's right, Comentista. We support we support freedom and justice on this channel and the liberation from colonialism, imperialism, and apartheid and genocide. When a group of people is backed into a corner, surrounded on all sides, into the world's largest open air prison that is Gaza, they have every right in the world to fire rockets, to fight back. Every single right in the world. When you're backed into a corner and they are trying to exterminate your people, what else can you do but to pick up a rifle and fight back? I'm not one for ultra left adventurism, but this isn't adventurism. This is a fight for their lives, for their very existence. And in front of our eyes since 1946, these people have been slowly and slowly genocided. And now liberals are like finally waking up. Now they're like, oh, we should free Palestine. It's like, where were you before? And I just fear that the only way to rid ourselves of Israel is war, is full blown war, and that would be so costly and horrific, especially since Israel probably would use their nuclear capability because they're babies. Silence, all on the Western Front. Well, I think that we're going to end the stream here, but it's been good talking to you, Italian Communist and Comrade Tonio. I hope to have you all on again soon. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you.
Yeah, and thank you. Hopefully, we are going to be doing more content soon. Everyone, look out for Ramiro's documentary. Go to this channel here. It's called Nicaragua Against Empire. Everyone go check out channels like Ewoks Unhinged. I'm going to be on Ewoks Unhinged tomorrow at 1 p.m. Central, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're going to be talking about Zionism with Eric Unger from the Red Lettuce podcast. Also, go check out the Red Lettuce podcast. It's a great place. I have an interview on there. Y'all should totally check it out. Check out Red Comrades in China. Look into Comrade Net and the Bundist movement. And everyone, please stay safe out there. Remember to stand in solidarity and do your internationalist duty. And red salute.
Hi.